going to do today is talk about exponential growth and decay. To do exponential growth and decay, we have to take 100, and depending on if it's growth or decay, will depend on if we're adding or subtracting. Since this is a 14% growth, we want to add 14 to it. So we get 114. The next thing we want to do is we can't leave it as 114 because we can't really do anything with that. So we actually want to change this to a decimal. Whenever we have a number that doesn't have a decimal, there's always an invisible decimal at the end, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to move this 2 spots to the left. So 1, 2, that's our new decimal. That looks awful, but that's our new decimal. And so our answer, our final answer I should say, is 1.14. So we're going to do the same thing for the next one. So again, this one's a growth. It's a growth of 0.07. So it doesn't matter if there's already a decimal or if it's a whole number. You're still going to either add or subtract depending on what it is. Again, this is growth, so we're going to add. So 100 plus 0.07. We would get 100.07 as our starting number. Then again, we want to move that 2 spots over. So 1, 2, we now have 1.0007. And with something like this, since that's a bad 0, let me fix that. With something like this where there's 3 zeros and then a 7, we want to leave it like this. We don't want to round it up or down because then it loses what it is. So you want to leave it like this. Next one. Again, we're still in growth, so we're going to add. So 100 plus 3.2. We would get 103.2 to start with. Then we're going to move our decimal. So we get 100, oh, not 100, back, 1.032. So that's how you do growth. You take 100, you add whatever your rate of growth is. Now rate of decay. We added with growth, now we're going to subtract because we're doing decay. So, still starting with 100, so 100 minus 14. So now we're going to get 86. So again, we're still going to move that decimal point. So it's going to start at the end because there's always an invisible 0 at the end, or invisible decimal point at the end. Move it over. Our new number is 0.86. Okay? So again, with decay we're subtracting, and you move your decimal place, just like we did with growth. So next we're going to do 100, still in decay, so we're going to subtract 0.07. So 100 minus 0.07, we'll get 99.93. Again, we're going to move that decimal spot 2 spots over. So now we have, that's the wrong color. Now we have 0.9993. Last one. Again, still you start with 100. So 100 minus, because we're still in decay, 3.2. We get 96.8. We got to move that decimal spot. We end up with 0.968. Okay? So remember, growth you add, decay you subtract, and you always start with 100.